It's time to reveal the ugly truth of Budapest Gambit. Is it a playable opening? Can white gain a stable advantage? What are the best lines for black and how to play this as black? The answers for all these questions you will find in this video. My name is PavelChess and welcome you to my YouTube channel, and let's reveal the Budapest Gambit together. Budapest Gambit starts after d4, knight f6, c4, e5. Black's trying to sacrifice the pawn on the second move. It looks like it can't be good, but this opening is more tricky than you can think. So the idea after d takes e5, black wants to play knight g4 now and take back this pawn. And basically what blacks really count on in this situation is on your move knight goes to f3 to protect the pawn. It looks very logical. But now black has the move bishop c5. The idea is that the pawn on f2 is attacked double time. So we need to play e3, and that basically covers our bishop on c1 to be under the pawn chain, so he's not so good. After knight c6, black will still return the pawn on e5, it's the matter of the time. So like after bishop e2, let's follow the main theoretical line. Castles, castles, rook e8, knight c3, takes on e5, takes, takes. And now white still need to do something with the bishop on c1 because he is blocked. That's why b3 looks amazing idea to push the bishop to b2. But now black's doing what is really typical for this type of structure. Remember this too. a5, bishop b2, rook a6. And now the rook is going to the king side. It's a rook lift. By the way, I have the video about the rook lifts on my channel. So if you skipped it, take a look. It's a very important strategical idea in chess. Personally, I don't like this position for white, because it looks really dangerous to me. The rook will come to g6 and black may have an attack on the king side. I don't want to play the fourth move knight f3. And that's why I really suggest you to switch your focus to the bishop f4 on the move 4. The difference now is that after bishop c5, we just play e3, attacking the knight with our queen, and our bishop is on the right position. So black need to play something like d6, but we can just like take, for example, and we are saving the extra pawn at least once. So that's not an issue for us. So bishop c5 is not the move for black. Basically, black have different approaches here, and let's go step by step to all of them. The classical way is to go knight c6 or to go bishop b4 immediately. Many times it could lead to the transposition. The modern approach is to go g5. We will take the modern approach as the last but not the least, and we will start with the move bishop b4 check now. So what is the idea of that? Bishop b4 check, knight goes to d2. We don't want to push our knight to c3, because with the knight on c3, black can take on c3 and damage our pawns on the queen side. So knight d2 is a bit better, and that's another good plus of the bishop f4 move, that we are not blocking the bishop with the knight on d2. So what black can do here? If we will speak about the queen e7, knight f3, then it will transpose more or less to the line knight c6 after black's knight c6. That we will discover a bit later. Let's go to the tactical approach that black have, the d6 move. That's not so easy, and here both sides need to know theory move and move, because white can easily get into the trap. E takes d6, queen f6, that is the idea, right, for black. Because now they're attacking here, they're looking to f2, and they're looking to b2. Looks a bit scary for white, but don't worry, if you know, then you know. The pawn goes to e3 to protect the bishop, queen goes b2, knight goes f3. We just need to continue our development and everything will be great with us. So what to do now? If black's trying to keep the initiative like bishop f5, trying to do something like that, okay, I think I can even take here, knight goes c6, bishop e2. And this position looks like winning for white. So it's not an issue for us. That's why let's discuss bishop takes d6. After bishop takes d6, we just can take on d6, takes, bishop e2. Here we just keep calm. After castle, castle, we really want to finish our development as white, and I don't see any plus for black in this position, to be honest, because all their pieces are really passive on the rank 8, and the pawn on d6 is the later on issue. So white's playing with a pleasant advantage, and you don't need to really worry about this position. So this weird line with the queen f6 can work sometimes as the trap for black, but if white knows the way, and if they're just following the opening instructions, basic opening instructions with development, everything would be good for them. So that's regarding this idea of d6. If we speak about queen e7, it would be the transpose. So let's go to this interesting lines. After like bishop b4, knight d2, or after the knight c6, which is basically would be pretty the same, knight f3, bishop b4, knight goes d2. Now we want to play the h3 move, and black need to be asap with taking on e5. That's why queen e7. e3, we're just following the development. Never forget about this in the opening. Knight takes, takes, bishop e2 now, castle, castle. And this position is very tricky, because white have interesting ideas. For example, if black will calmly go into d6, now we will see the main idea of white. So black wants just to push out the bishop from c8, but we have an interesting move, knight b3. And suddenly, after the a3, the bishop on b4 would be trapped. It's again thanks for our flexible knight on d2. So the line after, for example, a5, a3, bishop c5, takes, I don't see any pluses for black, but I see pluses for white. We have a pair of bishops, a better pawn structure, so a stable advantage. Black are only playing, I believe, for something like a draw, so it's hard to imagine they really seriously play for the win this position. So, except d6, black can make a more tricky move a5. The idea that after knight b3 they want to go a4 and kick out our knight from this position before we play a3, and like on a3 immediately they can play bishop d6. That's still, I think, the line that could be playable for white, but honestly, after the a5 in this position, I prefer just to play a3 immediately. And what to do now? Like, the move bishop d6 looks weird, at least I can play knight e4 on it. So, bishop takes d2, queen takes d2, and again we're gaining the pair of bishops. That's what I personally like about these positions. In case of d6, the calm move from black, we can play b4, and then we have a clear strategy to play c5 one day. So we have a breakthrough idea how to unlock our bishops and the clear path to play in all type of these structures. Besides, black are pretty passive and they don't have it at all. So if they will try, instead of playing d6, to make some aggressive plan like rook e6 transposing the rook to g6, now we have a strategical move c5, very important one, because now it's hard to really develop this bishop to move any pawn from d or b without creating the weaknesses or without unlocking the position for our bishops. So if queen takes c5, then bishop takes a6, right? The rook is hanging, so rook g6, queen takes a5, just we can play, even capture the pawn, grab it. It's not so much pieces on the board, the attack is not so a hard attack of black, so we can really outplay it. White's having an advantage. We don't need to fear the move a5. It still not saves black from the worst things. If black will try to capture immediately on d2, it's basically the same. Queen d2, like d6, b4. We still having the same ideas. So pair of bishops, a flexible structure, the clear ways to play on the queen side. I think all of this give whites the obvious pluses in this type of structures, and you can play this as white frequently, so don't afraid of it. If we really want to seriously consider this opening for black, we need to move for some modern approaches. I mean, not bishop b4, not knight c6, but to play g5 in this position. The idea after bishop g3 to play bishop g7. So black want to get back the pawn by this way. But let's just like take a look on it. Knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. We just want to follow the development. We can give back this pawn, don't worry. Takes, e3, d6, h4. Now white's trying to use this hook on g5, the pawn, right? So that's the issue for black. For sure they don't want to play g takes after bishop takes h4. White is about to play f4 and kick out the knight from e5, so that would be a big advantage, massive one. So that's why after h4 black need to play g4, and here computer propose a lot, but I really analyzed the line bishop e2, bishop e6, h5. A typical idea, we want to play h6, pushing the h pawn is very typical. By the way, I have the video about it on my YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe and take a look on this strategy. It's very important for you. h6, black need to stop it, And for example, just queen c2 or knight d5 in this position, right? That looks better for white, this position. Computer gives in around half of pawn advantage for white. For sure it's playable for black as well, but I will prefer the white side here. If black wants to test the Budapest Gambit, they still better to go with modern ideas with g5 than to go something else. But you also don't need to care so much about the white's gameplay if you know a lot, because you know a lot after my video. So I hope that I was able to reveal the ugly truth of Budapest Gambit. And don't forget to hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we will see each other on my new episodes. See you soon.